Welcome to episode 102 of Respawn Aim Fire, recording on April 1st. I am your host, Holden Chad, here with the one and only... You can say your name.
Oh, I say my name now. Chad Michael Ennis. We haven't done that in weeks, Holden.
I know.
I'm Chad Michael Ennis! Woo! Look at that sexy guy!
You've always been introducing me lately.
I know.
Not the other way around.
It's just so much smoother, because then we don't have that weird, awkward pause and lag.
You're just so much better than me. We have a super exciting episode.
Oh my God! What an exciting episode.
It's time. I know, it's time. We finally know about all this next-gen stuff we've been waiting for. I feel like we can talk about it all in full detail now. There's just been, lots of build-up over the past year. Really exciting stuff. We'll get to it. We're going to be talking about everything Sony talked about, everything Nintendo talked about, everything Microsoft talked about at E3. It's going to be huge. But before we get into that...
So huge!
Huge! Before we get to that, though, we want to talk about some games that weren't featured at Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo's E3 events. We're going to talk about some PC stuff. Max Payne was at E3, and Duke Nukem Forever is at E3. When are these games coming?
Never.
Max Payne, they said 2001, but that's been a long time coming now. But Duke Nukem Forever still said when it's ready.
I have a feeling like we'll literally never see that game.
Who knows at this point? I have no idea. It might never be ready.
They showed a trailer and it looked pretty cool, I guess.
It looks pretty cool, I guess. I will say, out of the two games, I definitely think Max Payne's the facial animations look a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Did you Duke Nukem, it looked like people just had pictures taped to their faces.
Like masks you used to make in elementary school as you were a kid.
Exactly. But those games are about being ridiculous and absurd, so I'm sure it's going to be fine. But we'll see what happens. I don't really have much to say though, because I feel like we've known about those games for a while now, and it's just kind of the same stuff. But Max Payne just looks cool.
I love the way that Duke Nukem's trailer ended.
How did it end again?
It was just like coming when it's ready.
Oh yeah, Max Payne. Watching that trailer, I will say though. It has this very cool noir story to it, and it kind of hit me that we're going to get to a point where games have much deeper stories than we've seen before. It's not just about the gameplay; it's about the atmosphere of this, like in this case, this crime story, and that's kind of where where 3D and new horsepower is kind of helping us out there. It's very, very cool.
Kind of like if Metal Gear Solid was on a next-gen platform. What? Spoiler alert.
We'll get to that. But those are all next-gen games. We have more next-gen games we're going to talk about. Before that, though, Chad, let's talk about some current-gen games that we're playing right now. We're actually both playing Zelda games, but different ones.
Surprise!
What are you playing, Chad?
I'm playing Majora's Mask. So I never actually beat this game.
Well, it's only been out a year.
I know. But I feel like I always get to like the Zora Temple, and then that's as far as I get, which I guess is almost at the end of the game, so I might as well just frickin' finish it.
I do hear that's kind of the weaker one, though. Why do you stop? Is it just you don't like that dungeon?
I don't know. Something about, it's water, swimming in water with a Zora.
Yeah.
It's just not as fun as, jumping around as little Deku Link and Goron Link, but...
That is true. It's like they saved the best for
and then
for
Zelda's stealth is never really that great. And you got the pirates, and you got to do the stealth again with the pirates.
They should just make it a Metal Gear Solid game. Is what they should do.
There you go.
Yeah.
That would be so much easier if you could just like see the cone of vision of the pirates like they have on the map of Metal Gear Solid. Then you're like, oh, now I know when I'm about to fucking walk in her field of view.
Speaking of Metal Gear Solid, by the way, just a reminder that Metal Gear Solid is our barf for the for this month, just because of Metal Gear Solid 2 being announced and just getting amped for it. Have you started playing Metal Gear Solid yet?
Spoilers. Well, obviously this won't be out by the time that I play it. That we have to talk about it, but I was going to say maybe I'll be able to play it on the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers for upcoming announcements from Sony's E3. No, I have not started it yet.
Okay. Neither have I.
But I will get there. We'll do this. We'll do the normal thing. We'll play it at the very end, and we'll wish we hadn't.
Absolutely, but I don't know. I'm going to wait out for as long as toilet play as I possibly can. That sounds awesome.
What are you playing?
I've also been playing Zelda. Yeah, I've also been playing Zelda. But I'm playing Oracle of Ages because
Ooh,
Oracle
how do you like it?
And it's great so far. It's surprisingly hard, though. I decided to go for Ages first over Seasons because both of those came out this week.
I think I'm going to go for Seasons.
Well, you should because I got Ages. We'll trade each other's Pokemon.
Ooh, well, you can have my my kangaroo.
You'll have my bear with too small of wings to actually do anything. So whatever that bear's name is. So it's really, really good so far. It's interesting because Capcom made these games, not Nintendo.
Yeah.
But it still actually looks very much identical to Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Except it's in glorious color, unlike the original.
Ooh. Wait, wasn't DX in color?
DX was in color. It's in the original, though.
Oh, yeah. You didn't play DX? I played DX.
I only played the original one.
Oh.
Just kidding. I never had a Game Boy.
Just kidding. I've never been born.
I've never been born.
I can't wait to be born.
I've only had Game Boy Color, but I'm kind of glad I don't. I want the monochrome screen. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oracle of Ages is super, super puzzle heavy. I am currently, I'm currently stuck also on a water temple. Actually, Zora's Jabu Jabu's belly is also in Link's Awakening. Not Link's Awakening. Oracle of Ages.
Oracle of Ages.
That was kind of cool.
One of my least favorite parts of Ocarina of Time. Literally the part I make my brother beat for me.
But what's weird, though, is this is more like the water temple in Ocarina of Time. You're raising
also
and lowering
piece of
water
shit
levels. Yes, but imagine the frustration of dealing with a 3D space with Ocarina of Time and raising the water levels in a 3D space. Doing the same thing, but in 2D where you can't see.
All right, now I definitely know I'm getting Seasons.
Yeah, so you should definitely get Seasons, unless there's also a water level in there, too. But that's okay, because there was a dungeon I just did that was also cool that made up for it, and that's a dungeon that deals with time travel. Because the whole game, Oracle of Ages, you are going back and forth in time.
Right.
And in this, you start in the present, and there's certain doors you can't go into. But if you leave the dungeon, go into the past, then go back into the dungeon again, you can blow up certain walls. When you return back to that location in the present, there's now an open dourway. And you can go through there because you blew open that wall in the past. Just kind of some cool stuff in there.
I hate that.
Then you should definitely get
that.
Seasons.
I just feel like it. Just put a crack in the wall and let me bomb it. If I have to go all the way back in time, it's just so tedious for me to just go through this stupid door.
Well, that's all. I'll update you guys next week in Oracle of Ages as I beat it, but it's pretty hard, so we'll see there. I don't really have much else to talk about in terms of playing, though, because there was so much that happened this week. Do I just jump into E3 stuff?
Let's jump the fuck in.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through Microsoft stuff, Nintendo stuff, then Sony stuff, and then we'll kind of just talk about it all in context together. So we're going to talk about them each individually. Starting with Microsoft, though, they finally revealed the launching details of Xbox, which is very exciting. We've known about it for a little while now. They announced it at CES last year. They've updated us little tidbits, showing us the controller.
E3 last year. They showed us the console at CES.
Yes, sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
Either way, though, we now have kind of full details. There wasn't. I mean, they've already shown us a lot of Halo, so they kind of went through Halo again. But they went through their online capabilities.
Halo looks
what
good,
they're looking
though.
for. Halo does.
Look good.
We'll get back to that. We'll talk about the games in a second. I want to talk about the online stuff, though, because they talked about this, and they're kind of really pushing online as the future of games, and they want to be at the forefront of it. They promised kind of 3 online capabilities, or 3 revolutionary advances that are possible because of their online infrastructure. That is online games, which they provided this example of playing basketball online with friends, where each player is a different position on the court.
Yeah, that could be super cool. Or it could be a nightmare.
Or it could be a nightmare. I don't know if I want to play a game and no one's passing to me.
They even said you could be the ref.
Yeah, you could be the ref.
How boring would that fucking be?
But you could also just be a total asshole. Flag, that was wrong, can't do that.
Do they do flags in basketball?
Well, they have penalties or whatever. Just call penalties and everything.
Yeah, but are they flags? You're showing your ignorance.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't watch basketball.
Maybe you're
literally
true
ignorance.
story.
Here, you want to hear something? No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Let's go on. I don't want to side rail us.
Okay. So online gaming, playing games online with people. That'll be kind of a topic we keep going on with as well. That's pretty big this E3. Episodic games. So like games where you download extra levels or extra characters or just extra content after the fact, which is kind of cool. Like think of a TV show ongoing stories with video games. Kind of bizarre, but very cool.
Yeah, it's something they already kind of do with PC.
Yeah. But on console, this is unheard of. And
yeah, exactly.
The next is voice communication. Is that available on PC? Voice communication online with games?
There are ways that you could do it. I don't know how many games you have natively that have that built in, but yeah, there are ways that you can communicate with voice on PC.
Yeah.
Although most everything is text chat.
Yeah, but that works on a keyboard because you have a keyboard there.
You have a keyboard in front of you.
With this, you have a controller. It's a lot harder to do that. So I mean, voice communication makes a ton of sense. But I also think like if you were playing basketball, each player's their own position, you would really want to just say pass to me as opposed to typing that in.
Yeah.
Because that might get kind of hard.
So a lot of this is Dreamcast is doing already.
Yes.
So for instance, like online games, like this year, Phantasy Star Online came out, which is, if you haven't picked it up yet, if you own a Dreamcast, you should absolutely go get Phantasy Star Online. It's fucking awesome. And you can hook up with other hunters across the world. As long as you have the phone line free. But yeah, you can hook up with anyone across the world, and you guys can go, like, literally, you could be sitting in your house all the way in Rhode Island. I can sit in my house here in California, and we could be fighting the same enemies, and you could help me fight a boss in that game.
That sounds a lot more fun than each
playing a referee in a basketball game.
Exactly. Maybe it's because I don't like basketball, but like that sounds really cool. Like, hey, we're going to tackle this dungeon together. We're going to solve puzzles together. We're going to play this game together. That's really, really awesome. It is worth pointing out that, what's his name? Peter Moore, who's the Sega president, when he got on stage during the Microsoft event and said Sega's going to be supporting Xbox's online efforts, and then he literally said on there, Sega was a pioneer of online with Dreamcast, but he acknowledges that Microsoft is doing it way better than they did.
Well, it helps that they're newer, more powerful, and they have broadband support.
Yes. Also, it's Microsoft. They have a lot of money to back their initiative and to kind of smooth things out, I'm sure. But, I mean, the fact that Microsoft's never been in the video game sphere in this context before. They've never been a major player like Sony or like Nintendo, even though Sony, even they are still new.
This is the first Western game console.
Yo, exactly. And they have Sega bowing down to them and saying, yeah, we didn't do as good as you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's one of those things where if Microsoft, all right, there's a chance Microsoft could really make a big stance in video games. I mean, they're a huge company, but they have good backing. I mean, that's a big deal. On top of that as well, though, Sony did this last generation. Sony was a nobody in the video game industry.
That's
they
right,
came in and they stole the show. I mean, they sold almost three times as many units as N64.
Yeah.
If they showed Nintendo the game. So, like, I don't know, like, a lot of this stuff's got me excited that I don't know exactly what this all means, but I think that Microsoft can make a big statement in the video game industry and really change things.
Yeah. One thing that I think is really exciting and cool about, like, that whole online part of it before we leave that topic. Yeah. If you think about, like, PC, now you have, like, expansion packs. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, when my brother and I were playing Diablo, like, you could get Diablo Hellfire, which is, Sierra released an expansion pack for that allowed you to have a monk character and new quests. And they were also, oddly enough, like, files that you could manipulate on the computer and unlock 2 other characters as playable characters, even though they weren't supposed to be characters to play in the game. But but you can add extra levels and things like that to your games, which I think is super dope. You can already do that, as I mentioned, in PC games, but, like, you couldn't do that on an N64. You couldn't do that on a PlayStation.
No, but like I'd love the idea of like Ocarina of Time. We're gonna add some new dungeons, or actually Majora's Mask. There are only 4 dungeons. Like we'll add some more now. Like that's a cool concept.
Yeah.
And a big deal with this with Microsoft as well is that unlike other companies, which we'll get to later on, to be online you don't need an extra hardware with Microsoft and Xbox.
That's right.
It just out of the box. It comes with everything you need. That's huge. It does the Xbox communicate is a peripheral for voice chat.
Yeah.
I wasn't certain if that's separate or not, but I think it is.
You think it's separate? I know. I think they mentioned the adapter is like bundled in for
the Ethernet adapter is bundled in, but the Xbox communicator it's a microphone. That's a little bit bigger. I don't know, but
that's exciting.
Either way, it's very exciting. It's very, very cool. Let's get to the games though, because. All right. If you can't play good games online, what's the point? And Halo is one game they showed off. This is not a new game. We've seen Halo for a while now. They had a huge 10-minute presentation of Halo at E3 last year. So, we've known about this, but that game still looks fucking cool.
It does. It looks so freaking cool. And I said freaking, and you said fucking. Wow. Body snatcher swaps? That's a thing? No, Freaky Friday. That's a thing.
One thing I just think is really funny, and this has nothing to do with E3, I just think this is really funny, is that Halo is now a Microsoft property, yet Steve Jobs announced it.
Right? Hey, this is Halo. It's coming to Apple and Mac OS, day and date.
Yep. That was, they announced it at, I think it was in Macworld 99 or something like that. Yeah. And he says, coming spring next year. And it didn't come the next year. And now it's not even on, it's going to be a Microsoft game. That's just weird. I think it's still coming to Mac, though. They still said that it's going to come to Mac as well. It's still going to come to PC, the game. But I just thought that was kind of funny, just how that turned hands like that.
Whoa, this is so much louder than I thought it was going to be.
The other game they talked about was, do you have anything to say about Halo? I kind of feel like...
I'm just pumped for it. It looks so fucking cool. That's it. I'm pumped.
Yep.
Shooting aliens, driving cars.
The other game they have is a game called Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, which was a PlayStation exclusive. Yeah, so you have Oddworld thoughts?
This game, I'm not interested in the game, but holy shit, some of these graphics, these character models look so freaking good.
Well, the developer is saying that they've tried to get it on PS2, but they're putting it on Xbox because they could just get so much more performance out of the Xbox.
And it shows.
It shows, yeah. They said it feels like a next-generation console beyond PS2. That's how much more power there is.
It's insane. And it only comes out, it's been a year since PS2 launched?
Yeah, I know. It's really impressive. The game looks really cool. But I've never played Oddworld before, but the game looks pretty funny. There are some really kind of quirky, fake companies with fake products within there. They had products Lung Buster, they're cigarettes, and the tagline is "Who wants a lung anyway?" or something like that. Or
what was the product they showed off right before that? I remember giggling in that one.
Butt flow.
That's why I giggled at it. Yep. Butt flow laxatives.
The tagline is, actually, if I can read it, when your colon is slowing you down, get with the flow.
Butt flow.
Butt flow. So that just seemed like kind of a quirky, funny game. And that was kind of cool, is that they showed off Halo and kind of Oddworld were kind of the two really big games they showed off there. And they're nothing like what's being offered in their consoles. They do seem to kind of have their own unique identity.
And
I think that's what helps Sony out, is that they were the mature console and Nintendo was for kids. And so Microsoft kind of had to make their own stance as well. And Halo just looks badass, and Oddworld looks quirky and bizarre.
You know the thing about Oddworld that I think is off-putting to me? I don't like looking at things that are... I don't like looking at things that are unattractive.
You don't like ugly people, Chad.
I don't like ugly people, and everything in this game just kind of looks like it's covered in this layer of gross, and I don't.
You're just contradicting yourself. You said it's also pretty, but it's also.
I didn't say pretty. I said it looks so good.
They're really able to capture the essence of the ugliness of these characters, thanks to the power of the Xbox.
Oh my god! Yeah, that game looks good. Looks good.
Looks good.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll wait for some reviews.
We'll find out. Oh, speaking of which, Xbox comes out November 8th for $299.
Oh, yeah. Surprise. We know now it's coming November.
Yeah.
And they said they were looking to sell 1 to 1.5 million of them in the holiday season, right?
Yeah. Which is pretty good. We'll get to Sony's numbers. I actually have Sony's numbers in terms of what they sold.
Sony's numbers are a little bit more impressive.
A little more impressive, but they also have a presence in the industry already.
Exactly. I'm sure part of that is Microsoft like figuring out R&D and figuring out how to ramp up supply and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But also, I think presence also guarantees that your console is going to do well. Speaking of which, let's talk about Nintendo and presence always making your console do well. So yeah, N64 did not do as hot last generation compared to SNES, NES.
It still has some good games, though.
It had some great games, but I mean, totally PlayStation trounced it in terms of sales, and by a huge margin. So they kind of had to make up a little bit. Yeah. They had to get away from cartridges. They showed off discs for the first time, but they showed some good games at E3.
Yeah.
There were some rumors that they were going to talk about Smash Bros.
Okay. So, Smash Bros.
Yes.
Can I tell you how much freaking better these character models look in Smash Bros. On the GameCube than they do on N64?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Spoilers for Samus later, but also looking at Samus's character model, holy shit, there's a huge difference.
Well, I mean, things can be rounded. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. As opposed to like jaggedy and pointed. Yeah, it was just really cool seeing these characters in much, much higher quality. That was super cool. There were new characters there that we hadn't seen before with Super Smash Bros. They had Ice Climbers, they had Sheik, Peach was there.
I don't know what Ice Climbers is from.
This is, I think, wasn't the game just called Ice Climbers on NES?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't play it.
You didn't play it? No.
Nope. Whatever.
Oh, right. I didn't play it either, but this is
who else was new? Sorry, keep going. You have a list of new people. Who else was new?
No, I think that was it for what we've seen right now. Ice Climbers they were new. Sheik was new, and Peach was new. But pretty much everyone seemed to be returning. Two characters I didn't see in the videos was Luigi and Jigglypuff, which were in the original Smash, but were not in this. But maybe they just weren't showing that trailer. That's fine. But everyone's returning for the most part. Seem to have some familiar.
They better have my boy Ness though. Ness was in it, right?
They had Ness.
Yeah.
I can list off all the characters you want me to, but Ness was definitely in there for sure. But yeah, it looks cool. I mean, basically, Super Smash Bros. They just kind of announced all those characters, and then they kind of oddly talked about the controller around announcing Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, let's talk about that controller real quick.
Yes.
What a confusing mess that looks like.
It really does. Well, there's a quote. Nintendo
all
literally
the buttons
acknowledged
are different
it.
Sizes. They're like, you got a giant-ass A button. You got weird bean-shaped X and Y buttons. You got a C, another stick. You have two thumbsticks on this thing.
Nintendo literally had to say in the announcement, "We know this looks complicated. We assure you it's very comfortable."
It looks like a hot mess.
Yeah, it looks like a hot mess.
But
it is a weird-looking controller. But what about, though, is it weirder looking than the N64 Trident controller?
I guess... But at least the N64 had similar-sized buttons.
Yeah, but it had an awkward extra, like... It has two legs and a gigantic fucking penis in the middle of it.
But everyone knows you just stroke the leg and hold the penis and you forget the other leg. But what was so cool, and I'm going to fucking love this, the wireless controller they showed off.
Yes.
Being able to sit 15 feet, he was very quickly to say 15 feet away from your GameCube with no wires.
That's very, very
Gone
cool.
are the days of extension cables.
I think it's a really, really cool idea. That's obviously how I'd want to play. What happens if someone walks between the controller and the console?
They get electrocuted.
They get electrocuted. It's like Jar Jar in Phantom Menace. He just sticks his tongue between the pod racer. And it just... Best Star Wars movie ever. Okay, next year.
Hold on. Speaking of controllers,
yeah,
do we want to mention the GBA?
I mean, is there really anything to discuss with the GBA? They barely talked about it. So yeah,
well, they said
GBA,
that you could use it as a controller.
They did say that, which is they said that and then said, yeah, we don't have any details though, but we'll talk about it at Space World.
Yeah.
So they had nothing to really to say.
But you could use it as a controller, which is going to be so much less confusing than that giant mess of buttons in your hand.
It'll be more confusing because the buttons at least are the same size. However, there aren't the same buttons.
Oh, that's true.
That's good.
Yeah, how are they going to do it with like all the Z buttons and?
I have also the X and Y button and the C stick and a joystick.
Oh fuck! How is that going to work?
Yeah, I don't know. Like if you were like play Super Smash Bros. I guess Super Smash Bros. Might be fine. You can maybe get away with it.
Yeah,
you don't need that many buttons anyway. But Like, we'll put it this way: Luigi's Mansion. They just showed. We'll transition to that. They showed off that game running.
Oh man,
how is that game going to run with a GameCube controller? Probably not at all. I mean, a Game Boy Advance controller.
That game looks good though.
It does.
The
look
graphics
really good.
on that game. I mean, Smash Bros. Look good, but holy shit, Luigi's Mansion. Luigi himself just looks so.
Yeah,
you're right. They can curve things. You can have rounded edges.
Yeah. But also, just he's so cute with his animations. Like, he found a ghost in the shower, I think, and he got spooked, and he literally fell to the floor and started to, like, crawl backwards really fast. That was hysterical. That's awesome. And again, like, the roundedness, but also the animations that are possible now kind of make things feel more like a toy than before. Before, I kind of felt like I was looking at computer images.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's a little bit more like a playset, which is kind of fun.
God,
but yeah...
I mean, it's weird that we have a Mario game where it's his brother vacuuming up ghosts in a haunted house.
Yeah.
Like, that's an interesting addition to the Mario canon.
It is.
That his brother is a ghost hunter with a vacuum cleaner.
So, here's my question for you. Every Nintendo console has come out with a Mario game at launch, except for the GameCube. But is Luigi's Mansion a Mario game?
Ooh. Yeah, it's a Mario game.
But it's not like you're not jumping. You're not like it's. I mean, it's in the franchise, but is it? It's not a Mario game.
His last name is Mario.
Is his last name? His name is Luigi Mario.
Yes.
And Mario's name is Mario.
The movie
Mario?
said so. They are the Mario brothers. Yeah, it's Mario and Luigi Mario.
That's the stupidest thing ever. They'll make a Zelda movie, and his name is Link.
Link.
Oh, what about Samus? No, it's Samus Aran. Yeah, but can we change it to Samus?
Isn't it Samus Aran?
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's Samus
Aran.
Aran. I'm sorry. I did say Samus Aran. Samus Aran.
Aran. I don't know. Come to think of it,
Aran.
Have I ever heard it spoken out
Aran?
loud?
I don't know.
Aran.
Samus Aran.
No.
Aran.
I've always just read it in magazines and on websites.
This is why they want to change it to Samus. It's just
there
easier.
You go. Samus is so much easier. You can look at Samus and say, "Oh yeah, obviously that's pronounced Samus."
Exactly. And what's your last name? Samus. Obviously makes sense.
Samus is not a girl's name though.
I'm your new host, Holden. Here with me is Chad.
Chad.
Anyway, speaking of weird, GameCube discs, really quickly.
They're adorable.
They're adorable, but they're so small.
They're so tiny.
Can they hold the same capacity? I actually didn't even see that. They said it holds 1.5 gigabytes, but I didn't hear. Well, I guess PlayStation uses DVDs. What's a DVD?
DVDs can hold 4 gigabytes, right?
Yeah, I think it's about right.
Yeah, DVDs are 4 gigabytes. I guess 1.5.
4.7.
4.7.
4.7. Yeah.
But they're just so cute. They gotta fit in that little baby Okay, speaking of baby console, I love whenever they showed off the console, they're like, speaking of babies, this is just like a baby in that it's tiny, but don't worry, it still makes a loud noise.
It is a really cute looking console.
It is.
I mean,
and it has a handle on it, so you can carry it.
I mean, it's definitely smaller than a PS2 and more powerful, which is crazy. But the Xbox is a big honking box.
Oh, the Xbox is huge.
It's huge.
I mean, it looks cool. When you look at the Xbox, you're like, that guy fucks. And you look at the GameCube, and you're like, oh, that guy's adorable. I want him to be my best friend.
Is it how they do sequels? They'll have like the Xbox and then the XXX.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what's gonna happen. I'm sure no one's ever made that joke before. I'm sure that I'm the only one who will ever make that joke. So we talked about Luigi's Mansion. They showed off a new IP as well, which we were not expecting, and that was Pikmin.
Yeah.
And again, though, like they said, the controller, guys, I know it's complicated, but like it's gonna be fine. They basically said the same thing about Pikmin. They literally said, "Hey guys, Pokemon looked weird too once." Like I know this looks weird, but like there's a lot of that this event for Nintendo. What did you think of Pikmin?
It doesn't look like it's for me.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel too. I mean, I could see people giggling while playing it because there's the Pikmin a little cute and charming, but I kept thinking to myself, so I'm just throwing Pikmin at people. Where's the game in that? Am I just like, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Maybe you find joy in just throwing cute things.
I guess. It was a nice tech demo, though. I mean, it looked really good.
It did look good.
It was very impressive in terms of how it looks. The number of things that were happening on screen with all these little Pikmin running everywhere. There's really a lot happening. It just, in terms of the game, I was like, I don't really care. I'm not that interested in that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it will be big because it's a new Nintendo IP.
When is it coming again? Oh, I'm sleepy tie.
They didn't say. I don't think.
They didn't say?
They didn't say. No, I don't have anything on that. Something outside of that. Metroid, they kind of showed a little bit of Metroid, but like barely anything. It was like snippets, and it was basically snippets in the middle of developer interviews. Like developers talking about how much they love the GameCube and the new tools that they're offering developers. They showed some snippets, but it was all third person, and I have sneeze coming.
Bless you. Oh, that's right. You sneeze 400 times per sneeze. I forgot.
Yeah, that was only 2. I gotta blow my nose now, though.
Okay.
Let me finish the thought about Metroid. We've already heard rumors that this Metroid game is a first-person game, but they still haven't. Why did they not show that at E3? Which is what I don't understand. We've heard these rumors
because they got to show you how sexy that Samus model is.
Very, very sexy.
With all those round edges. Do you think that's why they made? That's why people are advancing graphics technology, so they can make more accurate boobies.
All jiggle physics.
Yes. All in the name of breasts.
All in the name of breasts. I want like that to happen. Like next event, it's like we have 3 times or 50 times the polygons of the last generation, which means that these boobs can.
They're like, they show the character from behind. I don't understand. It doesn't look like you have that many more polygons. And then they turn around. We put them all in the boobs.
The most likely thing to happen. Interestingly, on Nintendo's event, there was no mention of online at all, which was the only company not to mention online.
Online is like the new hot thing.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about
Even though no one seems to actually have an idea of what it is, but...
Exactly. But, I mean, like, everyone's like, it's coming, it's going to be great, these are all the amazing things you can do with it, and then Nintendo's like, we've got a weird-ass controller. Our baby console makes a lot of noise.
You can throw some Pikmin at people.
Baby discs.
So that was interesting. But I want to return to that when we talk about all 3 in context. Because I think all 3 in context is just going to be a conversation of, is online going to matter or not?
Yeah.
Because Sony did talk about online in terms of adding peripherals to your PlayStation to allow it to connect to the internet. And then they said they'd have some games for online, but didn't really talk too much what those games were or what they do. It's different. It's very vague. But let's talk about Sony stuff.
Yes, please.
They had... So they're the only one of the consoles now that's actually already out. But they also announced, I think, a lot of really cool-looking games.
This is the biggest, most important thing, is that like the PlayStation 2's been out for a little bit now, and it's sold really well, but the games have all been just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But these games
are really good. I'm a big Nintendo person, but Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy is probably my game of the show.
Really?
Yeah. That game looks really, really cool. That's the same guys who made Crash Bandicoot. They actually said on the stage it's the same team that made Crash Bandicoot.
The same people. Yeah.
They've been working on it for 2 years. And what's funny is that the PS2 is the least powerful of these consoles, just from everything we've been hearing about in the past year in terms of these companies talking about their specs. This is the least powerful of the consoles, allegedly. And that impressed me the most in terms of tech. They were showing off how they can... Well, the quote actually is, there's an initial loading screen, and then after that, there are no loading screens whatsoever.
Yeah.
You just run through the game, and it's all there. It just all is seamless. It just all the worlds connect to each other. And they said you can actually see those worlds in the distance as you're playing. You can see, quote, this is the coolest thing ever. You can, quote, see hours of gameplay ahead of you. What?
You can see time in this game.
You can see time. That's so bananas.
You see that mountain over there? You can go to it.
You can go to it, and you can. Apparently. But no, but they showed them moving through the map and moving through it really fast and it catching up. And that's just super cool. It was just one of the coolest things I had seen. I mean, when you come from like PlayStation 1 where you couldn't even see 5 feet in front of you in certain games because it couldn't render out that far.
Right.
And this is like, fuck it, hours ahead. You can see hours ahead of you. You can, like, when you start the game, you can see the end of the game already. It's already
maybe it's hours ahead if you walk so slowly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in traditionally we're used to like, oh my gosh, I go through a door, load. Great, I'm in the next room, or I turn a corner in a hallway, load. Great, I'm in the next part of the hallway. But this is going to be so you load. That's all they said. You load once, and then.
Think about Resident Evil. I mean, obviously these games are not comparable at all, but you literally open a door open animation while it loads the next room.
Yep.
So you can see 30 seconds in front of you.
That's impressive. For anyone who doesn't know, so we've talked a lot about the loading in the world, but it's a 3D platformer, similar to like how Mario 64 plays, it looks like. And it's 3D platforming, collecting things, fighting enemies.
Yep, it seems like very much like a next generation version of Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Like taken to the next level.
To the next level.
It's their most ambitious project.
And on your way to the next level, you don't have to wait for it to load. Now this game, this next one, I think is dope as fuck.
You run us through it then.
Okay, so there's a game called Devil May Cry from Capcom. And it is intended to be just the coolest game in the world. You're a demon hunter.
That's literally the promise they made.
It's literally, they're like, it's cool.
Yeah.
So you have a sword, and you're fighting a bunch of demons, but you have this sword, and you have guns, and it's literally just about looking really fucking cool while you beat the shit out of demons and shoot them, and do all sorts of really cool acrobatics with your weapons. It looks so fucking good.
It does look like a lot. It looks really cool. I mean, it is kind of the best way to describe the game.
Yeah.
Whenever like in marketing they go, no, it's really really cool, and you go, I don't know, like I don't feel that. I think you're just saying it's cool to get me to buy the game, and you see the game and you just go, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's amazing to see like how far they've come since, like, it's Capcom, so the same people who made Resident Evil 2, and to be able to see what the character models and environments look like in that compared to what they're doing in this one, and how fluid you can move. Like, the way this guy's jumping around the screen and slashing his sword compared to, like, how you move through a hallway in Resident Evil 2. Like, it's insane. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It just looks so fucking cool!
Also, you get to beat the shit out of demons in a fast-paced game. Like,
demons. There's an extra D in there. Demons. I'm a demon.
Speaking of demons, Silent Hills 2 was also talked about.
Ooh, talk about scurry.
I've never played Silent Hills before.
Me neither.
But this game just looks really good and really fucking scary.
Yeah.
Did you play Silent Hills at all?
No. Silent Hill. Singular Hill, right?
Singular, sorry. Yeah. I wrote down Silent Hills, didn't I? Yeah, Silent Hill 2, sorry. I haven't played it. I don't know these things, Chad. I don't know these things.
Your mom. Oh!
Good point.
No, I did not, but this looks good. Kind of makes me wish that I had a PlayStation 2.
I do know that the PlayStation 1 version kind of used that draw distance I was talking about to its advantage to kind of make it seem like fog, so they didn't have to render anything too far out.
Yeah.
But this game just has fog. It just has fog. It has great lighting.
Foggy,
and
dude.
It just looks creepy. Like when you can kind of see a monster through the end of the edge of a flashlight, and it's not fully illuminated yet, and then it comes into frame. Like, that's a creepy moment.
And the monsters in these games are always just so fucking creepy looking. Like, whoever dreams them up must have nightmares.
Yeah, they were saying that they were really happy for the extra processing power of the PS2 just to make monsters that are really fucked up looking. Which is kind of cool. And also just facial animations looks really, really impressive. It feels like these developers have a lot more power to help them out, but faces seem really tough. Like Duke Nukem, just those faces, like I said, look like pictures on a head. But these these look like literally taped to a head. They don't look great, but these faces look really good. They're expressive. You can see emotion on them. It's really, really impressive in that regard. But I think Metal Gear Solid 2 expressive. I think Metal Gear Solid 2 had the best in terms of feeling like a movie. I mean, like really looking like a movie. I mean, every character has distinguishing facial traits. It's insane.
Yeah,
and not like their heads a little bit differently shaped. Like no. Like the face looks different.
Right. You
like
can tell it's not
things.
just copy and paste Soldier A
exactly
100 times.
Yeah, really, really cool. I've again never played Metal Gear Solid. You have played it before, and now you're convincing me to play it for Barf this month.
Jace.
So you run us through this one because I'm like this made me really pumped to want to start Metal Gear Solid.
So first of all, the upgrade that Snake got going from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2, holy shit! And you're talking about like paper taped to a head. That was Snake in Metal Gear 1, and now he has. Oh my god, he has a beard. What? Rather than just a shadowy part on the bottom of his fucking rectangle face. Yeah, it looks great. I think the most impressive stuff, though, was like how detailed the tanker looked.
Yes. It's in the ocean. There's the storm around it. Like,
yeah.
Holy fuck. The lights on the ship and how they illuminate objects around it. Like, that's nuts.
Yep, and then the giant machine on the inside. Like, and, of course, you mentioned cinematic. Everything is like all these camera movements and there's like panning to the left. And everything just looked so detailed and fucking great. And it didn't look like, a lot of textures in games will be like they'll be flat. They'll just be a flat wall, but it'll have things painted on it. Whereas these actually looked like they are three-dimensional pieces of architecture in this boat.
Looks like a real place.
Right? Isn't that such a strange concept? It looks fucking real.
Again, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, but I feel like in the game, they're going for a real feel to an extent.
Yeah.
This is going to help that so much. And they're also very story-based games. And I think that because these characters look so good, you'll be way more invested in the story than you would have otherwise been. I think this is really exciting. Sony's event really did a good job of showing us what these next-gen games can be, I think.
Yeah.
In a different way than Nintendo did. I'm very excited about their stuff. I'm not a big Disney person, so I didn't really give a shit about this next announcement. But Kingdom Hearts... Do you care at all?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're both super enthused about that. Bless you. Yeah, below that nose. Oh yeah, below that. Yeah, it didn't really get me too excited. It's we're talking about all these other games. We're like, whoa, that looked really impressive. I feel like this. I mean, it looked good.
Yeah, it's kind of cartoony looking and kind of fun. I think it's just kind of, for people who care about this,
cool
Disney
concept.
Characters,
Disney
characters being, we'll say, appropriately portrayed because Disney has a say in it. For people who care about that, that's really, really, really cool. So I get it. Just not for me. They've been kind of teasing this a little while.
Yeah.
They've been saying they had a partnership with Disney. They just didn't say what it was going to be. Now we've seen it. Makes sense. It's basically Final Fantasy with Disney characters.
Yep.
But it has a cool battle system. It's not turn-based, which is kind of cool. So maybe that'll make it more fun, but I just don't want to play a Disney game.
There is another game on here that you don't have that I think is super important.
What did I forget?
If you have a PlayStation 1, they're coming out with the Final Fantasy Chronicles. You get Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy IV on your PlayStation 1. First of all, Chrono Trigger, fucking great. Played that shit on SNES. I haven't played Final Fantasy IV, but apparently it's fantastic as well. So they announced that's coming, even though it's coming to PlayStation 1 instead of PlayStation 2. And also, speaking of PlayStation 1, they're coming out with an LCD screen. So as long as you have a power outlet in your bathroom, you can plug it in and play Metal Gear Solid on the toilet.
That's crazy to me. That's
awesome, so
though.
Fucking cool, though. I can literally play Metal Gear Solid on the toilet.
You're going to spend so long in the bathroom now.
I know. Like, my mom spends all the time in the bathroom anyway. She's always reading a book, though.
Oh, yeah. That's probably
quote, reading a book. She's probably playing Metal Gear Solid on a PlayStation 1 on an LCD screen. But they're releasing 2 versions of the screen. One at $149, which is kind of expensive, but I mean, it's cool. And then one at $169 that's going to have extra features.
Yes. Is it? I don't know. Is it worth it though? Like, would you really spend that much time playing Metal Gear Solid on the toilet?
I don't know.
I guess like if
what else am I going to do on the toilet?
If mom and dad want to watch something on the TV, they don't want their kid playing on the PlayStation at that moment. I guess it kind of solves that problem. You don't have to buy a whole new TV.
Okay, you're right. That's a better use case than toilet. So I could play it in the living room. While
I think everything is a better use case than toilet. Like, oh, you found a better example than toilet.
I love that it's just toilet, not playing on the toilet. You found a better example.
No, but
than
in any
toilet.
scenario, it's like, man, like, what's the best place to eat this burger? On the toilet? I think living room. Yeah, you're right. Living room is much better than toilet. Like in any scenario for anything except for pooping.
Except for pooping.
Toilet. And using the toilet. Toilet's not the best option. Just saying.
Maybe. Or getting water in an emergency.
There is one thing, though, that a toilet and a PS2 have in common.
What's that?
If you want to play online, you need extra peripherals because they're not included in the box.
Poop online with your friends with this $40 adapter.
Yes, so PS2 is already out and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have online stuff, and it seems like that's going to be kind of big. This is actually going to be segmenting in kind of our general discussion about all the consoles. Sony basically said online's important because they announced some games that are going to be online based without talking about what those games are going to be. We know it's going to be SOCOM Online, Twisted Metal Online. We just don't know what they're going to actually play like. And they're all extra. It costs extra money to get online. So they think it's important. It's important enough for them to start thinking about that and to get a product out there. They didn't do it fully. So I guess, Chad, how important do you think online is going to be?
Okay, it's going to be very important if you want to be sitting on the toilet with a television in the bathroom with you and a PS2 and an Ethernet cable running all the way to your bathroom. It's going to be very important. Well worth the $40, well worth the investment. I don't know. I guess we've just yet to see. I mean, Fantasy All-Star Online is super cool, but I don't like.
It's one game.
They announced that there's going to be like browsers. Like, you can go online and you can check your email and stuff like that. I mean, you can kind of do that on Dreamcast right now, too. But,
yeah,
I don't know. Do I want to do that on my PS2 with a controller?
Yeah, I kind of feel, I think that, like, online would only be used in games, and we haven't really seen big examples of what that looks like yet. I mean, we can imagine, like, if Nintendo got into it, Mario Kart might be kind of fun to play online.
Oh, yes.
Like, that might be kind of cool, but we haven't really seen examples like that yet. So I'm not really sure to expect there, but it feels like it could be something cool.
Yeah. I mean, Twisted Metal Online could be super fun. Playing it,
I guess, yeah.
Co-op on the couch, not co-op, but against each other on the couch is super fun, but, like, can you imagine if every single car in that Destruction Derby was a real person?
I guess that would be kind of cool.
Either how hard that would be or just how simple that could be, because, like, computers are so much smarter than people, so.
But at the same time, though, like, is that going to be worth... I mean, Xbox to make it easier because they have that built in.
Yeah.
But on a PlayStation 2, is it worth it to buy that peripheral and then buy that game?
I feel like they've just got to show us... They've got to give us a reason. They've got to show us why.
Yeah, and it feels like that's kind of the one thing that was missing for me, is that why. We know it's going to be cool. I'm sure Microsoft's not going to release a shitty product, but they seem to be banking on that as kind of the next gen thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you think about, Microsoft talked about downloading extra stuff for your games. What if you were playing, I don't know, Jack and Daxter, and then suddenly you download a whole new world on PS2?
Yeah.
That could be cool. That wouldn't... I feel like that would be something that might make it worth it.
Totally would make it worth it, but if... I guess, like, how is that going to work? Like, is that just if you have Jack and Daxter ready, you just get that level? is
I don't know.
Insomniac? No, not Insomniac. Is Naughty Dog? Are they going to want to make a level for people who only have access to that? Like how many people is that going to be?
It's a really small audience.
I mean, it might not be though, but who knows? It could be huge, but I don't know. Like, there's so much uncertainty.
You also have that audience. Plus, Microsoft, their Xbox has a built-in hard drive specifically to hold all of this stuff too.
Yeah, and you need to buy that on top of
that's
the Ethernet
exactly
and all that
yeah.
stuff.
That's
There's a
extra
price.
added cost.
I think there was a price on the online stuff for Sony.
I don't remember.
Wasn't. I'm looking through my notes.
I know I think it was $40 for the adapter.
Yeah, $40 for the adapter, and they said there's going to be a mouse, keyboard, and 40 gigabyte hard drive coming before Christmas, but there was no price on any of that stuff.
40 gigabyte hard drive. All right.
Yeah, so bigger than the Microsoft one, but it's extra.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the Microsoft hard drive? Is 10 gigabytes?
10 gigabytes. Yeah. So, if I had examples of these are they've said Twisted Metal is going to be online, that's great. What does that mean though? Is there going to be a referee in Twisted Metal that I can play as? What's that going to mean?
And you could throw a basketball back and forth, and every person on the basketball team could be a different car.
Well, you and a friend walk up to a car and you'd be like, "I got shotgun," and then you just sit in the passenger seat, and what's that going to be like?
Maybe you're in charge of shooting people, and the other person's in charge of driving. That's going to be way too complicated. Oh, it's so resonant and so echoey.
I'm still looking through my notes right now. Yeah, there's a SOCOM Online, is the other game that they announced. Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Well,
I guess we'll save this for the main quest.
Well, no, let's just jump into it. Who won E3?
Who won E3 / which of these consoles do you plan on buying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get a GameCube because I like Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And they showed off some games that I thought were interesting, some that I want to try out. That Zelda game they showed off. I mean, they've been showing off that same little tidbit for a while now, but just show that Zelda game. I want that Zelda game.
Yeah.
The one was Link and Ganondorf fighting. Looks dope as fuck. They showed off that Animal Forest game, which is...
I don't remember that one.
It was in the montage at the end of their video, and it basically is just this little cute character walking around a cute little forest. It's apparently based off of an N64 game where you're kind of managing a town.
Okay.
Kind of building a house in that town. It's coming to the U.S. now for GameCube, and it's called Animal Forest.
That sounds boring as shit.
I think that. I mean, it's Nintendo. It could be fun. I don't know. It did really well in Japan, and it looks cute. And
I've decided I hate it. Fuck that game.
You decided you hate it? Okay. Well, I want those games. I want a lot of the stuff that Nintendo announced.
Yeah.
But and I think those games honestly look more up my alley. But then when I see what PS2 is doing, those games look so cool.
I mean, yeah, Devil May Cry 2.
Really, really cool.
I mean, Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Solid 2. Jak and Daxter, those games look great. But then you see Xbox, and you're like, holy shit, look at how much more powerful it is when you look at something like Oddworld. Mm-hmm. And you see how fucking amazing those character models look.
It all looks really good, but they've already sold 10 million PlayStation 2s. That's doing really well already. Developers are already going to be wanting making games for the PS2, which means... I think that extra processing power might be irrelevant. $299.
$299, same price. Yeah. Same price as Xbox.
Yeah. So it's tough. I look at Microsoft's event and I go, Halo looks really cool. Like Oddworld, that game looks visually very, very impressive. The promise of online.
Project Gotham
cool
Racing
promise.
Looked cool too.
Yes, but you can get racing games on any console.
Yeah, but that one.
Okay, fine.
It's cool.
That one looks cool.
I'm trying to make a case for Xbox. I'm trying to make us objective.
I guess it's everyone had cool stuff they showed off.
Yeah.
Nintendo and Sony are established. Microsoft is established in other industries and is trying to do something really bold here, and only really seems to have two games that are worth getting.
So that's what it, how do they develop their own stuff? How do they get partners to develop for their own console? I mean, obviously they have that partnership with Sega.
All right, I mean, there's going to be games that are going to come to it. I have no doubt about that. It's just I don't know. I just feel like I know Nintendo's going to have great games on their system because I know what to expect from Nintendo. Sony more than proved themselves last generation. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. I'm probably still going to buy just a GameCube for right now, just because I really want to play Luigi's Mansion. I really want to play the Nintendo games that are coming out.
That Smash Bros. Looks dope.
Smash Bros. Looks dope. It's really between the PS2 and the GameCube.
Yeah, I feel like Microsoft right now is like the promise of cool things.
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo and Sony are like, yo, we've got cool things.
Yeah, we've got cool things. I think I would stick with Sony for right now, though. I think I would get a PS2. I mean, obviously it's out right now. I can just go to the store and get one. But thinking this holiday season, when GameCube and Xbox are actually finally out, I think I'll get a PS2 just because it's more established at this point.
Yeah.
And they had more games that were shown off at E3 that felt that I'm excited about. And the stuff that Nintendo showed off, Luigi's Mansion will be available at launch. Other games we're going to have to wait for. So I'll get that one eventually. But I still just really want to play Luigi's Mansion on day one.
Luigi's Mansion does look good.
Maybe I'll just get both. Why not both? I'll just get both.
Why not both? Let's just spend $1,000 on nothing.
Yeah.
And by nothing, I mean, yeah, I think so. I think Sony won this one. They just had so many good games, which a lot of people have been like waiting for because PlayStation 2 has not wowed us so far with its game library.
Mm-hmm. But it's very close to Nintendo, though. It's very close to Nintendo.
Yeah. I've got to get my hands on that controller.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm like, it can't be fun to play with that controller.
The PS2 controller is basically identical to the DualShock.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what to expect there. So, yeah, I'll go with PS2 just because I really know what to expect there. There was a little bit of establishment there already. But I'm going to cave and get a GameCube. That'll 100% will happen.
Yeah. You have to. It's adorable. By the Sony is your grown-up console, and the Nintendo is your baby console.
Exactly. It looks like a little lunchbox with a handle on it and everything.
You could totally bring it to school. And
absolutely. Oh, no, I forgot my lunch today. I brought my GameCube instead. Damn.
Don't worry, there's bologna in the disk drive.
Sorry, so definitively, we basically both think that Sony won E3.
Yeah, Sony won. Sony won
all
E3.
Right. Very cool.
Although they all three had very strong showings.
They did, yeah, but I
think it was a really good E3.
It was. This is a very, very exciting one. And E3's getting pretty exciting, too. It's getting better.
Yeah. Got to admit, it's getting better.
All right. Well, I think that's where we should end the main quest, at least. We're ready to move on to our end game.
Ready!
Just another reminder that our bar for the month is Metal Gear Solid.
On the toilet.
On the toilet. Only if you play on the toilet.
Screen. Did they announce a release date for the LCD screen? I don't think they did.
I think just by the end of the year, I think. But we do have a Ryan subscriber interrogative from @CowTipper108.
Ooh.
He says, Sony and Microsoft seem to be ahead of Nintendo in terms of online. Very true. Does the announcement of Google Stadia mean they are even further behind?
I mean, I guess you could use Google on Sony. Because they announced they're going to have keyboards. I don't know what that has to do with.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess you wanted to look up like a game sheet or something like that. You can
maybe
that'd
be a cool
Xbox
thing to do. So that's another thing. Yeah, I guess maybe you could Google Stadia. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could like Google, "Hey, I'm stuck in Devil May Cry."
Maybe they meant to type in search, like Google search, to just really misspelled it.
Google search. Somebody announce it. I don't know. But yeah, I think that could mean. Because you can't search for shit, you can't access the web on Nintendo. Yeah, that could be a really cool integration that like helps you get shit accomplished and figured out.
Totally.
You could go to GameFAQs while you're playing the game. You could be playing the game.
Yeah.
Go to GameFAQs and look up the guide.
And this would benefit Nintendo too. Can you imagine trying to do the big Goron Sword quest, no Ocarina of Time, all the trading, and just have the list next to?
Oh my god! Right?
When you're playing, that sounds great.
Oh my god,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess yes.
I don't know how that would work exactly, but the concept's cool.
Yeah. They obviously have the integration with online available to them, which means by default, yes, they are going to be further ahead with this integration of Google and the rest of the internet. Whereas Nintendo, we don't see any plans so far of what they've announced that they're going to have online support. So Yes, I think that could. Thank you for your question, CowTipper108.
All right. Well, let's end the show like we always do, Chad. Do you want to
just a hand job? Wait. How do we normally end it?
So I can't intro this segment. You have to because you just do it so damn well.
Game on Game Show. The game on our game show called Game On. We play a game on our game show. And it's a game we play on a game show game. Game on game. Game.
We have Game on Game Show. We have 4 this week.
Ooh.
Very, very excited.
Wait, which game are we playing on our game show?
Oh, Would You Rather. Sorry.
Would You Rather? Oh, 4 Would You Rathers.
Yes.
Oh, and Holden came up with them, and I don't know what they are?
This is different.
Ooh.
Not to get everyone too hyped and too excited about this, but Chad is way better at coming up with Would You Rathers than I am.
That is yet to be determined. We'll see.
Yeah. So first one we did talk about was that Final Fantasy Spirits Within trailer was shown off.
Oh, yeah.
And they said those characters, those CGI actors,
holy shit,
are going to be everywhere. They're going to be in all the movies.
Did you see like all the wrinkles and freaking eyelashes and everything on the old guy's face?
Yeah, they look really, really good.
Holy shit.
It looks really impressive.
Can you imagine when our video games are going to look like that?
Well, here's the thing. If they're going to be in more movies, they're going to come to movies. This is a ridiculous proposition. But what if this were the case? Would you rather see the characters you saw in Final Fantasy Spirits Within reprise in a sequel to either the hit comedy Dude, Where's My Car? Or Mel Gibson, the great Mel Gibson's The Patriot?
Oh my god.
So which would you rather see those really good but not quite human-looking characters? Which movie would you rather see them in? A sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
I want to see that old guy and the main girl in Dude, Where's My Car. I want to see that old guy as Ashton Kutcher in Dude, Where's My Car.
Absolutely. Smoking weed with a chihuahua, wherever that scene is.
Yes.
Just sounds great. It also would show their range.
And then. No more and then.
Well, it'd just be good because we'll see them in kind of a science fiction action movie, and then we'll see their comedic chops.
You can see their whole range, the whole breadth of their abilities.
Exactly.
God, yes.
So Kingdom Hearts is a Disney partnering with Square.
Okay.
What of the games announced at Sony, which would you rather see another kind of cross game with? Cross Disney and Metal Gear Solid, or Disney cross Devil May Cry.
Oh, shit. Yes, I want to have a sword and guns and just fucking shoot a bunch of Pooh Bears and karate chop Mickey Mouses and Donald Ducks. Yes, I want to murder Disney characters.
That does sound really fun. I do think it'd be really funny if they had Metal Gear Solid with Disney characters with a difficulty level of which character you chose. Mickey, easiest to play as Mickey. Hardest, Goofy. Goofy is just stumbling all over the place.
He's just gangly and just walking all over the place.
He's like awkwardly tall, so like if you go to hide behind a box, he's still like his hat is like above the box still. Like things like that. Like it could be like a super hard version of Metal Gear Solid. So I think that's the one I'm gonna go with. That's good. I like that. All right, so you're thinking about hiring a maid.
Always.
Would you rather your maid be Luigi with his vacuum, but he can only use his vacuum?
Does it actually suck up dust, or is it still just ghosts?
It sucks up everything, but it's the only thing he can use.
Okay.
Or is the maid Olimar from Pikmin just throwing Pikmin at everything that needs to be done, and the Pikmin just do those chores?
Oh, so the Pikmin actually do the chores.
Yeah, so like the maid really is just throwing Pikmin at all of the chores that need to be done, and the Pikmin actually do the chores.
Okay, so slaves. So the maid is a slave owner and is pointing at all the different chores and saying, do these.
I mean, they're little aliens, and they're not even humans, so yeah.
Yeah, but they have rights.
Well, do they? They're from another planet.
Hold on, let's talk about civil rights. A likely topic for this podcast.
They're basically animals.
So here's the thing. You mentioned they're aliens. I don't know if they know how to scrub a dish. I don't know if how they react to bleach. when I need them to clean up a dead body.
Or if they're going to be careful, do they know that plate's delicate?
Right. And he's got to throw them at things. He's got to throw them at the dishes. How many is that going to break? Whereas a vacuum cleaner, you could suck up the food on the dishes. You could vacuum, obviously. You could suck up dust everywhere. It's so much more practical. And then I just have to come behind and just, like, put the dishes in the dishwasher. And that's it.
All right. You've convinced me.
Yeah.
I'll also do Luigi's Mansion. Or just Luigi.
Just Luigi.
We're referencing that game.
Just the tip of Luigi's penis. Which is the middle prong of the N64 controller.
And our last, would you rather play Animal Forest or get a colonoscopy?
So I know almost nothing about Animal Forest, but I know that it's the worst fucking game that's ever been made, and it's so boring, and it should die in a fire, and everyone should boycott it. And also colonoscopies are hilarious. So yeah, I would choose colonoscopy.
I haven't done a colonoscopy or Animal Forest before, but I'm going to take a chance and say that Animal Forest might be more enjoyable.
Oh,
than a
boo! Fuck that.
I don't know anything about
game.
it. I've heard bad things about colonoscopies. I haven't heard anything about Animal Forest, technically speaking.
Okay, next time that you have a friend, I don't know why you would have a friend that's getting a colonoscopy soon, but next time you have a friend or uncle or neighbor who's getting a colonoscopy, ask if you can be the one that drives them to their appointment and drives them home so that when they wake up, you can hear them fart. Because it's fucking hysterical.
Okay, I will do that.
And then you'll be like, yeah, that Animal Forest game sounds like a piece of shit.
All right, well, that's where we're going to end it for the evening.
Very good. You were good at that game on Game Show. See, you were underselling yourself.
Oh, thanks, Chad. What's our ending word for the night, Chad?
Our usual sign-off?
Our usual sign-off.
Oh, damn it. I had something in mind from earlier, but I forgot it.